How's it going, Thomas?
It's good, man. How are you doing today?
Good, man. Can't complain. I just wanted to, thank you for your time hopping on here today, kind of giving your testimony on how things have gone for you with Replace Your Mortgage. So, let's kind of jump into this and get started. How did you hear about Replace Your Mortgage?
Random YouTube ad. I was bored at work and I was surfing YouTube, as
Okay.
everybody does. And I saw this ad and was really kind of intrigued. So I started looking at the math of it and tried to figure it out myself for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then decided actually to call and talk to you and figure
That's
out
right.
what
I
it was
did your
actually
dis-
about.
Yeah, I did your discovery call. I remember that. So when you first started to look into this, did you get a chance to like read the ebook and look at all the other YouTube videos? Did you do your due diligence on it?
Yeah, after I first reached out to Replace Your Mortgage, I did. But before that, I was even just digging into other YouTube videos when I heard the term HELOC and all this and the terminology that I'd never heard before. I was looking into it like, what is this? Is there a way I can do this myself?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that was a big nope. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna reach out and see what they have to offer, what they have to say.
Gotcha.
So, so I reached out to Replace Your Mortgage, read the ebook, and then kind of got a lot more ideas about it. Was really, really excited.
Yeah. So when you did your discovery call with me and we went through, we determined, because this isn't for everybody, obviously, we determined that, your numbers worked. And like when we ran your numbers, what was your payoff?
2 years.
Two
I
years.
went from 22 years of payments left at $1,200 a month on a property that was rented for about $1,200 a month,
Mm-hmm.
maybe $100 positive. 22 years of payments and zero cash flow on my rental to um, an interest only payment of about $500 once everything got settled in, and then I moved
Mm-hmm.
all the transfer money in. To now that place will be paid off in the next couple months. So
That's awesome.
it would
Yeah.
have been paid off already if I hadn't like bought extra stuff.
Yeah. A lot of people just assume that, oh, I'm going to add extra money to my mortgage on top of my mortgage and, and it'll pay it off in the same rate, right? The math on that works, but at the end of the day, you're putting extra money into a mortgage, you're locking it away in the bank's treasure chest. Why would you do that, right? When a home equity line of credit, it's open-ended and you literally always have 100% access to your money. And the interest, the payment that you're actually paying is, far less typically than what your mortgage is. So I could see how that worked for your rental.
Yeah, it worked. It worked amazing, and that being able to put the extra money into that HELOC
Hmm.
allowed me to actually buy the house I'm in right now
That's
because
awesome.
I had to move on short notice from Hawaii to Arizona, so I had about 3 weeks notice to move, and I was able to get out here, purchase this house, and with the education I got from just all the replacement mortgage family and videos and Michael and yourself and
Hmm.
I was actually able to secure like zero down financing on this house and then use the HELOC money to furnish my home and kind of turn it into a home. So
Nice.
it's been helpful.
Yeah, because you're in the military, so you're moving around a lot. What are you going to be stationed in Arizona for a while?
At least 3 years.
At least 3 years. Now, when typically in Replace Your Mortgage, it's, a lot of people think that all we teach is just home equity lines of credit, how to get a home equity line of credit in first position. But, there's obviously other strategies that we talk about. You seem to be implementing some of them. When you leave Arizona, are you going to rent that house out, do you think?
Yes, that's always one of my main drivers. I really got into big into understanding real estate investing once I got into replacement mortgage, and the community
Mm-hmm.
is extremely helpful in just spreading education amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hive mind, as I call it. And when I look for my property to buy, or I'm always looking to buy, I'm always looking, okay, what is the rental possibility of this? Because I know inevitably I'm going to move. I'm either going to retire from the military and move somewhere for my next job, or I'm going to move from my next job for the military. So this house, my payments on it are currently about 1,800 a month, and it'll rent for at least 3,000 when I leave.
That's awesome. Well, man, definitely thank you for your service and stuff. I know Michael's a big fan of military, law enforcement, that sort of thing. So, anytime we speak to anybody that's, out there fighting for us, thank you for your time and your service.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
so when it comes down to when you first heard of this, was there any point in time where you thought like, this sounds too good to be true?
Yeah, that's why on our discovery call, I kept you on the phone for 2.5 hours.
You did. You did. And we kept
And
going back to the math. You kept going back to the math. I kept bringing you back to the calculator. So, that's something we do here, Replace Your Mortgage on the discovery call is we'll go through, we'll run everybody's numbers just to make sure that this works for the individual. So what other kind of plans do you have?
That was a big help. Yeah, that was a big help sitting down and being able to talk to the numbers and then throwing all these what if scenarios at you to where and you're able to answer them logically, which is I benefit from because I find so many companies like to give you the company line.
Yeah.
And I feel that wasn't present when I talked to you, and that really gave me the comfort to move forward. Because I was going to get the call and then I was going to ponder it over for another month, like I always do with everything that costs money. But the numbers were so solid. I was like, okay, let's do this. This makes sense to me now because I'd done my own little bit of research and kind of understood the baseline of it. And then talking with you kind of gave me the clarity of the picture.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when I do discovery calls with them, I tell them up front, like, look, I was in your shoes at one point. I started this, as a client, and I was very skeptical. It wasn't until I had my conversation with Michael to where I was able to go through and determine that this is all definitely very real. So. All right, well, good deal. So you've been a Replace Your Mortgage client for how long at this point?
November will be 2 years.
Okay. And what kind of results have you seen in the last 2 years? Oh
man, it's almost immeasurable because, like I said, this kind of because not only the discovery call and understanding how to pay off my home faster, that was one piece. And then some of the extra videos that you guys offered that in the coursework kind of started opening my eyes to how money really works. Yeah. So I've always been a fan. So about 10 years ago, I started reading about stocks and just understanding how it works because I knew at some point I'm going to have to dive into some kind of investment. But I don't want to trust other people with my money because they're inherently their initial interest is only in themselves. They'll help me as a secondary product, but number one, they're gonna look out for them and their family, which is understandable. Yeah. So, but digging into the coursework and everything else, I started to understand how the real estate world works and how money works and how wealthy people actually build wealth, not just make more money. Yep. So the education alone has been immeasurable. Yeah. Now the monetary value has been extremely helpful. I have almost no money stress anymore. I grew up extremely, extremely poor, and the driver for my life to get where I'm at now has always been don't end up back there. I was homeless for a year and a half, and I was that guy. I was eating out of trash cans trying to make it, but I never wanted to go back there. But this has kind of been the eye-opening piece of helping me to understand how the world actually works. Yeah. Once you understand money, you can understand the world. Yeah. It was really, really, really interesting. That's been the biggest takeaway for me from. Yeah, man. I remember your story. You had an amazing story. And this here, this is not just a home equity line of credit that you can utilize to, get involved in investment, but this also kind of acts like a reverse mortgage in a way without all the fees and junk fees and everything that are associated with a reverse mortgage. So people are able to weather the storm, make their interest only payments, and also have access to the equity in their home whenever something rough comes up. We've actually had clients that because of the coronavirus, the husband and wife have lost their jobs for a little while, and they were able to leverage the home equity line of credit, didn't have to rely on any government program or anything, and were able to make the interest only payment because they could pull it straight from the line of credit and also pay their bills until they weathered the storm, and then they just got right back on track. So it's been a lifesaver for a lot of our clients. So yeah, it's given me a lot of mental breathing room, basically, because every few years we get a threat of a government shutdown due to budgetary arguments.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you there's one coming up now, I believe. And I don't even worry about it anymore because I've been able to build so much equity and I can still draw off of it that I can reduce my lifestyle cost, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
to minimal and still and be totally comfortable and not actually have to worry about, okay, should I go drive Uber just to make it ends me just because I'm scared, or I need to eat food, or my dog needs his medicine. So it's been a lifesaver just on the mental front as well.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate your time. It's always good to talk to you and hear from our clients. So, as always, if there's anything, that you need from us, feel free to reach out anytime.
Will do, man. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. You take it easy.